Hey there, writers. All right, so if you are watching this video, you are learning a lesson on how to come up with reasons or what reasons are as you're reading your text set. We have gone over some of this in class a tiny bit, and I think you remember learning about this from fourth grade. So I'm hoping you will bring all of those tools and strategies as we do this lesson. Now, some of you might have forgotten, and that's okay. That's why we're going to kind of review a little bit. Hey, and also I wanted to show you guys my cool new mic that I got. Check this out. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so hopefully I have no audio issues, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to get right into it. Let me hit present. So these are in your opinion slides, and you know most of this stuff, but I'm just going to review it. So reasons are the big general main point that supports your claim. So if you think about a metaphor, I would say the claim or simile, the claim is like that big rainbow that you have, and then the reasons are kind of like the clouds, and then the smaller little raindrops that go under the cloud are your pieces of text evidence. So if you need like kind of a way to remember it, that's a good way. There's so many different kinds of ways you could remember it, but that's the one I came up with. All right, so here are some common reasons for most topics that I want you to think about. Your reason is probably right here on this page. So now, are these the only reasons that are ever existing in life? Of course not. But these are the most common ones that you are going to see and that you're probably going to write about. So here's a reason. I don't know if it'll fit for your topic, but think about it. A good reason is it's popular. Okay, popularity is obviously a good reason. Beneficial, meaning it's better for you. Like it's the iPad is better than another device, or something like that. That could be a good reason. High quality, it's a very high quality product, so it's better. Anytime you're saying a reason is it teaches responsibility, maturity, or like a character trait, that's always a strong reason. If something is tasty or delicious, something is healthy, anytime you bring in health, that's a very, very strong reason. Another strong reason is cost. When something is very expensive, that's a good way to argue against something. Or if you say it's inexpensive in comparison to something else, that's also another good reason. Another good reason could be that it's fun or interesting, something that's unique or special or one of a kind, very important to our lives, our environment, our community, the world. That would be a really strong reason. And then another one that's really strong, if you can use this in your essay, it depends on your topic, are that it protects your rights and freedoms, or the opposite, it takes away your rights and freedoms and fairness and equality. Okay. So I don't know, some of you might already kind of be feeling like, ooh, one of these or two of these could be my reasons for my essay. Another way to remember the different reasons is with an acronym called EitherOr. So let me walk you through what this means. So either or, the E is for everyone is doing it. So that's a reason. That's called bandwagon technique. Bandwagon means like everyone's doing it. Get on the bandwagon. It's an old phrase that people used to use. It just means everyone's doing it, almost like popularity. Okay. The I stands for intelligent people, meaning intelligent, smart people are, let's say, for example, my topic is about, let's say, iPhones. Okay. Intelligent, smart people are using iPhones. Okay. T stands for this is good for you, meaning that it's good for you, whether it's with your health, with your mind, with your family, whatever you want to use. This is good for you. H is happiness will come, meaning you'll feel good about yourself if you use that. If you watch a lot of commercials, I bet you, if you watch the commercials closely, one of these reasons is going to show up. So that could be a fun homework assignment is watch some commercials and tell me which reason that they had. All right. E is every reasonable person, and it's just common sense, meaning every reasonable person's doing it, and it's just common sense. It just makes sense. It kind of goes along with intelligent people, but just kind of more like everyday people. R is a good reason. It stands for rights, meaning rights and freedoms. So if you argue that as a reason, you'll have a really strong paragraph. O stands for opinion of an expert. So I would say like the opinion of an expert or a celebrity. So again, with the topic of iPhones, if I said, well, a celebrity like Michael Jordan is using an iPhone, or a different celebrity, Taylor Swift, she's using an iPhone. So that might help sell it and really convince someone. R is this is an important responsibility, meaning it's a responsibility that we have in the world today. And that could be a good convincing reason. So, one of your reasons could be on this slide right here. So, I want you to think about that as you're coming up with reasons for your topic. Now, on this slide right here are some video tutorials that teach you about ethos, pathos, and logos. I do not expect you to watch every single video tutorial, but if you forgot kind of what we learned, I do want you to pause my video and watch one of these. It doesn't have to be both, but either tutorial 1 or tutorial 2. The other thing I want you to do is, if you want to, is watch these commercials and explain how ethos, pathos, and logos are used in each one. I would take out a sheet of paper. I would write down maybe like 3, like number from 1 to 3, and then write down the commercial and write down which one did they use, ethos, pathos, or logos, and kind of explain how did they do it? Like, what was your evidence? Okay. All right, just to review, ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos stands for credibility, meaning it's reliable. Pathos stands for emotions or feelings. That's why you have the heart that's broken right there. Then logos stands for like logic. So you have the brain right there. So I like that L in logos and L in logic go together because that helps me to remember it. Another way I remember pathos is instead of emotion, I think of passion. Passion and emotion or feelings are what pathos is all about. Okay. And ethos is just trust. Like, do you trust someone, like an expert or a doctor or a lawyer or a famous person? So maybe E and ethos, we could go with expert. Okay. So this is something I wanted to show you that's a good graphic organizer. If you want to print it out and have it next to you, that's great. If you don't, this will always be here. But the definition of pathos is the use of emotional appeal to convince the reader or the audience. Examples are when you share heartwarming stories or personal experiences of something that happened to you or a family member or a friend, like funny jokes that get at your emotions, or really sad photographs or sad music. That really is all pathos type of argument. Okay. And you could use this in your essay if you shared a really sad story. Excuse me, my mouse keeps doing that. I apologize. A really sad story or a personal life connection of something that happened. So if I were doing, let's say that you wanted to convince your parents to get you a puppy or a dog, you might share a heartwarming story of when you went to the pound and you felt so sad of those dogs that were locked up, and it tugged at your heartstrings or something like that. Or maybe you visited a friend and they had a puppy or a dog, and it really made you feel special because that dog was giving you so much love and attention. Okay. All right, logos is logic. This is the use of logical argument. Basically, these are like good, strong facts. So some examples you could use are statistics. Statistics are those number facts we've talked about, like percentages or fractions or just a big number. Obviously, facts, reasonable arguments, and then just like logically organizing your information is all kind of logos, like first of all, second of all, and giving lots of numbers. Okay. Ethos is using ethics. Ethics is credibility, the trust of someone, usually an expert in the field. So, some examples would be like quotes from professionals. And a professional is someone who's been in the field for a long time. So if you were doing, let's say, a sports topic, maybe a professional would be someone like an Olympic athlete or a reporter who's like covered the sport for a really long time. Customer reviews like you have in Amazon, celebrity endorsements like famous people that could say that this is good or bad. And then personal qualifications could be just everyday people, but they've tried it out and would agree that it's good or maybe that it's bad. Okay, so it's practice time. So, what I'm going to have you do is and do this practice only if you need it, because we did do this practice in class, but I want to show you a couple of things, documents that you can use to practice. For example, if I said shark attacks can bring the business down at your exotic location, what type of argument is it? Shark attacks can injure your beloved family members. What type of argument is it? Whales are being aggravated and abused. What type of argument is it? Sports analysts concluded that extreme sports are becoming a lot safer. What type of argument, and so on. Okay. So I have a few examples for you. I may actually make this like a Schoology quiz or a check in or a seesaw assignment. I haven't decided yet. So if you're watching this video before I did that, I apologize. But these are ways that you can practice and kind of figure out, is it ethos, pathos, or logos? Okay. All right, let's go back to the slides. Another thing I want to offer up as practice, and you probably remember doing this with our student teacher, are these task cards. I don't know if you remember, but we had these task cards around the classroom and we were all walking around, kind of reading them and writing down our answers. We didn't do all of the task cards. I think we just did like 1 through like maybe 15 or 20. I can't remember. But what I'd like for you to do is if you need some extra practice, I'd love for you to go online, check these out, and read these examples on the left, and then try to write down your answer. Now, if you would like an answer key, it is right here. Actually, I wonder if these are the actual answer keys. Yeah, they are. So these right here on this right-hand side are the answers. So if you see that, it's the answer. But what you can do is kind of read it and try it out on your own. Even though you kind of see the answer, it's just good practice for you to do if you would like. Okay. All right, let's get back into the slides. I hit present. Okay, so now I'm going to go through this example with you of how can we create ethos, pathos, and logos type reasons off of a topic. So I'm going to give you a topic right now. It's the one that's our mentor text. That's uniforms should not be required in schools. So what would be an ethos reason, a pathos reason, and a logos reason? So I made this organizer right here so you can look right off of it. But ethos is an expert or credibility or trust, a quote from a professional or a customer review or a celebrity endorsement. So if I were to do that for uniforms, someone I would trust is probably like a principal. So I would find the principal of a school and get a quote from a principal of a school or maybe even a teacher who's been teaching for a really long time. Another person I think that would fit the ethos argument could be the Secretary of Education for the United States. Okay. Now, in this case, I would probably not use Taylor Swift because she doesn't really fit into the topic. So you have to think about who your celebrity is and how they fit into the topic if we can really trust them. Now, could an expert be a student? Could a student who's worn uniforms, let's say for 4 or 5 years, or maybe even just 2 years, be somebody you use as a credible person? Absolutely. Now, if it was a student who just wore it like more recently, like maybe, I don't know, 6 months, I'd probably say no. You want someone with experience in the field. So anything like that would work. Okay. All right. The next one is pathos. Now, pathos is making this a little bit smaller for you. Pathos is passion, feelings, heart warm stories, or even like personal experiences. So in my essay, I actually shared my personal experience with uniforms because my daughter, when she was in preschool, she had to wear uniforms. So personal experience, I'm going to put Malia had to wear, and I'm going to share my story. I actually shared the story of how expensive it was for her and how it was like not good for her personality and it was just kind of boring and more I used it for how expensive it was. I did kind of exaggerate a tiny bit, but that's okay to do in an essay. Okay. I could probably share kind of like a sad memory or something like that. Anything that's going to get the reader to feel something is what you want. Okay. And logos is just your good old fashioned facts that you're using. And you guys are experts at that because you know how to find that golden nugget of text evidence. So you could use statistics, facts, reasonable arguments, logical organization of information. Now, I actually, in my research, found an awesome statistic of the percentage of how many kids were actually using it, percentage of uniform use. And you could find something like that. You could find, some good numbers or just like a really good, powerful quote that would really help your reader to see the facts. Okay. I think this part you're going to be an expert at. I'm going to ask you, though, to embed some other reasons in yours because your logos reasons might even show up in different paragraphs or different these could all be even types of evidence. If you don't want it to be a type of reason, it could be a type of evidence that you weave in to your argument. Okay? All right. So, what I'd like for you to do right now is go after I explain this, you're going to stop your video and do some independent practice on your own. So, what I just did, you're going to do, whoops, sorry, go to the chocolate milk topic, and you should have that text set pretty much understood. You probably need to pull up a tab with that text set open so you can reference it if you need to. So your directions are try this out on your own. I want you to brainstorm some possible ideas for each type of reason. You can just do this in your notebook, like just on piece of paper, on a dry erase board, on a Google Doc, whatever you think. You can even make a copy of my slides and just start typing right in there. I'm going to let you choose your system that works for you. Don't make it too complicated though, because this is just a quick practice. Now, if it's coming easy to you and you're like, oh, I think I could use this, I could do that, and it's like you're starting to understand it and the hang of it, awesome. If you're not, you probably need to join my small group sessions on Tuesday or Wednesday, or Schoology message me so we can kind of practice this together and I can give you feedback. Okay? All right. So the next thing is I'm going to have you're going to watch my video on creating and synthesizing reasons. It's a video that I made for you with this document, and it should be linked in the agenda, but I'm just going to quickly walk through it really fast. So, what you're going to do next is you're going to create reasons for your opinion essay. So, your reason is your big general statement. And some ideas are we talked about Lucky Charms, how it's yummy, it has marshmallows, and they're tasty. Well, the main reason that you could do for all three of those could be that they are just simply tasting delicious. They taste good, right? And our formula for our topic sentence would be our claim, which is Lucky Charms should be served because, and then you give your reason, which is they're delicious or they're tasty. Now, one thing I want you to think about is you want to use general and broad words such as unhealthy, important, benefits, responsibility, fairness, all that good stuff, because that will really help you. And in my video, I've explained all of these big general reasons that you'll probably run into or use. Okay. And in my video, I'm gonna walk you through this guided practice about uniforms and how to synthesize your reasons. And I think that'll really help you to come up with your top 3 reasons. So I want you to make sure you pause the video. You have done the practice right here for coming up with chocolate milk, ethos, pathos, and logos. And then I want you to go into my assignments and you're going to watch this video on choosing and synthesizing your reasons. Okay. All right. So go ahead and pause. And that is it for this video, but you're going to pause and make sure you take care of those assignments. Good luck.